back to Tenor Guitar Time. Let's continue our studies of the G major pentatonic scale. Now, if you missed the first two videos on this scale, they're down below. There's G major pentatonic introduction and part 2. This is part 3. And in the intro, I was just playing G major pentatonic scales over my open G note mostly, and making up chords, choosing any notes from that scale. I don't really need to know what they're called, only that they're going to sound good almost every time. If you choose any notes in that G major pentatonic scale, make a chord, you could probably use it. So today we're looking at the third position. We already learned, the first video goes over the G major pentatonic scale in the first 5 frets. Part 2 covers from fret 5 to fret 10. And today we're going to cover from 7 to 12. And after that, of course, it repeats. All right, so here are your notes of the G major pentatonic scale at the third position up the neck. So starting on this G, remember that the notes of the pentatonic scale, there's pent means 5, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. So we have G, A, B, D, and E. So this particular region of the scale starts on the D note on your low string at the 7th fret. All right, so here it is. This one has a easy pattern to remember. So it's 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. So it makes sense to learn it, run it up and down 100,000 times. Whoops. So I like to remember that the root note is where my pinky is here on the 12th fret. I think it's important to run your scales up and down with a metronome. Just put on a metronome and play your scale. Whoops. And of course you can do the thirds pattern that we've been doing. I've taught this exercise pattern a few times, and it's challenging. I set the metronome for a 4-beat cycle, and we're going to carve that up into 16 beats. But we're going to divide it by 4 groups of 3, that's 12 beats, and 1 group of 4 to get to 16. Now it's a polyrhythm because when we hit our emphasized notes, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, those ones aren't going to land on the metronome clicks. Now this is challenging. I'm going to play a pattern using this section of the G major pentatonic scale, starting at the D note. So our pattern will go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go to the next note that we would get to, but go back 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll start our next cycle of that same pattern where we end up after the first section. So now we're at the second note. 1, 2, 3. Then go one past and go back. 1, 2, 3, 4. And wherever we end on that 4 is where we start our next pattern. That should be we start the next pattern, and our one click on the metronome should be matching exactly. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I start where I end. I think we'll turn around that way. So when we get to this section, and we need to go to the next note, we're extending beyond this section up to this high G note right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that'll be our clue that we're turning around in the section, and then we'll start back from this high E note right here. So I'll run it one time through without the metronome again, slow. So now when we come back up, we're going to reverse our pattern, starting from the high E note once we do our turnaround. practicing.